Go
One
ahead.
of the one of the first episodes we did as Change the Narrative, right? I put out a list of the top 25 players in my generation, which is when semi-pro started in 1992. All
Okay.
right. And man, I got a lot of flock from, I mean, I got people calling me from New York, from LA, from, I mean, I'm talking about from all over because I put out the top 25 players, right? So I have you and Milt tied at number one. I got Marlon, I got Nigel, Miguel, and Dwight
Yeah.
as the top five players. That's in my generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of the older Belize players were like concerned. They're like, yo, but this dude don't know anything about the 60s, the 70s, and so forth before my generation. So the question that I have that I gotta ask this question: who would you say in your generation from 1970 to 1992? Who would you say is the top 10 players that you see,
Okay.
or top five that you've seen play in the Belize
From when
within that time
1970 to
frame?
when?
From 1970 to 1992.
Okay. I'd have to say start with Harry Cadle.
Harry Cato, okay?
He was my mentor in Belize in the streets. We used to go to the gym together when I was a junior player.
Uh-huh.
He used to take me to the gym, and then he used to pick me on his team.
Okay.
We used to hang out. He was the star of Old Park, and that takes us back to an argument they were having about the best teams. And in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, it was Dunlop was the dominant team. A team called Dunlop. They had won like 3 championships. 2 as Dunlop and 1 as Baygon. And then after
Okay.
that came Harry Cadle and his team. They were Old Par and
Okay.
slash Grand Mariner. When they changed their name. And they when we went to the Central American games, he was the best player in town at the time. It was me and him was the starting guards in the backcourt. So I would say after Harry Cadle, I would go with Charles Goff
Charles
and Danny
Goff.
Main, who were the 2 best centers of the time. All 3
Okay.
of them were MVPs. Um, that would be 3.
Yourself,
Uh,
of course.
no, well, I'm giving you my 5.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't see myself play.
Right. That's right. You was playing.
Yeah, I have to leave that to those who saw. So
Right.
anyway, that would be Harry Cadle, Charles Goff, Danny Main. Um, oh,
What about
JJ, JJ Lynch.
JJ Lynch?
Yeah, JJ he was like my Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the first person to dunk on somebody in Belize, actually, and Charles Goff at Bird's Eye. They still talk about that dunk.
Up to this day.
Up to this day, he came down with one of those sweeping Sean Kemp, and he had big hands where he brought it from way down in his knee with one hand and just
Bang.
bang. All right.
The last
Let,
one.
let me see who was not. No, did you have Keith Acosta and Bovell in your 25?
Yeah, I got that in my 25.
All right. So they were afterwards. So before them, let me see who else. That's what. That's 4.
That's 4.
4. Yeah.
Um, Man, the 5th would be the 5th one.
So you even having a hard time finding 5 players.
Yeah, there you go. No, but all right. So let me just put let's put Frankie Flowers, the same guy that was the
Frankie
5th
Flowers.
scorer out there,
Right.
because he was the best pure shooter. So let's say that's 5 because he's a favorite of that generation. But to tell you the truth, probably me and JJ Lynch are probably the only 2 players from back then that
Went to college.
I think JJ did go to Trade Tech, and he used
Okay.
to dominate out in Dorsey and Manuel Art in the park and stuff.
Right.
Oh, he was a famous playground player up in LA, in the LA area. So I would say JJ is the only other person that I would say that could fit into the modern basketball era
Okay.
that were playing, because a lot of these guys, like I say, most of it, like the big men, like Danny and Charles, they were playing big big man
big
basketball then.
basketball, like that Ralph
And that was
Sampson type
old school
basketball.
big man.
Right.
That's not happening today.
Right.
Okay, and then Frankie was like too small, and he didn't have the handles. He was like a catch and shoot guy.
That's it. Yeah, he's a regular catch and shoot.
Yeah, and Harry Cadle, he had the handles and stuff, but he might have been a bit slow for today.
Okay.
Right, but JJ was one hell of an athlete, man. He had big, long arms. His arm would touch his leg, you know.
Right.
So
that's your top five.
He was aggressive, huh?
So that's your top five.
Yeah, that would be my top five.
So what? How? Let's move on to like how semi-pro came about. How's the origin of the Raiders, John, which is my favorite team.
Yeah,
and all that came about.
Okay, so let me continue with the history because that was when I came back from college.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the prelude to semi-pro. So the following the season now, I didn't play with Bellikin.
Right.
Which I was supposed to, which was my team, Wheels. I didn't play with him because it was kind of awkward for me to play with him now when I had like 4 guys on the team who just voted for me not to be on the national team with him.
Yeah, they just vote you off the team.
Exactly. So I ended up getting a bunch of kids from the hood, just like I did with Future Shock.
Right.
All right. Just that they were a little older, and which JJ was like I said was the feature. He was from True Pink Jungle and his brother Chucky.
Okay.
And we put together a team called the Happy Home Builders.
Oh, that's how Home Builders came about.
Huh? That's how Home Builders came about. And we were sponsored by this man called Sir Andy, who was always like helping, he was always sponsoring like teams from the hood.
Right.
He was a builder. And I remember the first game was a Sunday morning game because the season used to start on a Friday night between the champion and the sub-champions. And then the Sunday morning game, which would be the second game of the season, would be played against probably the third place team and somebody else. So our first game was the Sunday morning against the third place team, and everybody was like, man, then Lee Boya, where Pulu they bring, they're getting an ass kicked because they're green, they're naive, they're a bunch of rookies, they can't play.
Right.
Well, our first game, Belize at that time, Belize was playing like half-court ball. The games were going like in the 50s and the 60s. They were playing
a bunch of zones.
Yeah, exactly, a bunch of zone. And we came back with full court press, that 2-2-1 trap. We called it the Lion.
I remember the Lion.
The Lion and the Lion of the Roar, they couldn't get it across the half-court line.
Right.
We were playing college ball.
Right, pretty much.
Because I came back, the knowledge I brought back with me didn't exist in Belize. And the game was going through transition because the 3-point shot was coming now. Right. And our first game that Sunday morning against the third best team in the league from the previous season, we were up 44-22 at the half.
Wow. I
could remember Melvin Smith, who was like my neighbor, and he was like one of our biggest fans, right?
Right.
He hollered, "Take away the boy for the big one."
That's all like
that. Yeah, take away the one for the big one.
Right.
And we went on that year. We didn't lose any games until we met with Wheels.
Same Wheels.
Yeah, same Wheels.
The arch nemesis.
The thing is I was the one who led Wheels to his first 2 championships. I was the man.
Right.
So now here I am.
The villain.
The villain. So now it's funny, I'm the one who basically built the Wheels fan base because I was the favorite. And then now here I'm with Happy Home Builder. So the fans, they split up.
Right.
And we were up 72-70 with 3 seconds on the clock. Right?
Right.
And they were taking the ball out of bounds. And they threw it in bounds. Somebody took a jump shot, missed. They power forward, grabbed the rebound, and put it back up. But all that took 6 seconds.
And there was 3 seconds.
It was 3 seconds.
Yeah, so they wanted the game to go in overtime, and we walked off. All right. And the
Right.
man line that week read, Happy Home Builders robbed the case of the 3 seconds that became 6.
That's great. Hey man, that's the story of Belize for you right there.
And the story of my life, you know what I'm saying? So that was how Wheels won his 4th championship.
Robbing you.
That was for the championship?
Yeah, it was for the championship. They won the 4th championship. Yeah. So anyway.